is going to be episode 2 of Cooking with Gunny.
All right.
And what are you doing now?
Okay, I was going to put these green peppers on the grill, but since the grill didn't work out, I'm just going to fry these in a cast iron skillet with salt, pepper, olive oil, and get them soft. Then I'm going to get the Italian sausage and
what do you got cooking in this pan?
This is the puttanesca. I'm just going to warm it up.
Now, what is puttanesca sauce?
Puttanesca is fresh tomatoes pushed through a sieve, and then you get the puree out of the sieve, and then you add olive oil, garlic, capers, and Niçoise olives, black olives. I like Niçoise olives, but I use the cured olives sometimes.
Okay.
But it's a very tangy and zesty sauce. Usually put like anchovy fillets in there.
Okay.
I didn't have any anchovies today, and so I just had to do without the anchovies. And my gout would appreciate it also.
No anchovies?
Yeah, usually I have the anchovy paste in the refrigerator, but I finished it all. But
so you're stirring the green peppers?
Yeah. So.
And then what do we got here? You got a little spaghetti, and you put a little sauce in there just to
so
kind of loosen it up?
When I make the pasta, I just put the sauce in there to make sure it doesn't stick.
Okay.
So I get the biggest bowl you can and let it rest. And
now, how long do you let the sauce, the pasta rest?
Well, actually, there's no rule on resting, but I'm a little bit behind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pasta, and when it's time for service, I'm going to heat the puttanesca and then put the pasta inside the sauce to heat it up and make sure the pasta gets coated with the sauce real well, and plate it and put a little sauce on top.
Okay.
But I kind of lift it up too to make sure that it doesn't stick. So, because there's still heat in it. But one thing you don't want to do is rinse pasta. People do that, and it rinses a lot of the flavor off and makes it cold.
Okay.
But
now what did we make over here?
Oh, okay. We made breaded fried zucchini. It was a huge zucchini, and I used the 3-step breading method. Put flour on it. Well, salt, pepper. Then I put flour on it. Then I put a mixture of panko, which is Japanese breadcrumbs, with salt and pepper and the breadcrumbs. And I double breaded it. So I like double breading it. And then after I fried it, I put some pecorino romano cheese on it. And salt. But this was a big zucchini. I usually like smaller zucchinis because they're more tender, but this one was organically raised on a farm, and I kind of like the big zucchini pieces, but it's just a little firmer texture.
Okay, what are some features of your kitchen, of the Gunny's kitchen?
What I like about this kitchen is there's a lot of counter space, and that's very important when you're cooking. So I got this big counter space here. I like the height of this counter. It's ergonomic for me. I can stand up and chop without bending over, which is good on the back and for fatigue. So I have my knives here, so I can just, when I do my prep work, ideally I'd like to have a light here in the future, but when I do prep work, I like this counter space. There's counter space over there, which is good. But the height here is really important to me, and I have all my gear here. One of the things I think everybody should get is a magnetic knife rack. Have your knives ready to pull up and ready to use.
Okay.
And then right next to the stove, I have a rack with some of the basic kitchen tools, and then I have my tools here that I use a lot. So I have, a nice spatula from Le Creuset, And I have my spatulas and my wooden spoons there.
So how is our green peppers looking?
Oh, they're coming. They're coming.
Not as good as if we would have grilled them, but...
Well, yeah. I'm going to put a little more oil on there. Going to heat down a little bit.
And of course, when you cook with Gunny, you always need a little bit of beer.
Yeah, and wine.
And wine, okay.
Yeah. So
very important.
I got my tools arranged here. I got spatulas, wooden spoons here, and I have my whisk and my turners here, and then I have some miscellaneous here. These are good for sifting flour or filtering stuff. And I think this is the most important tool in the kitchen, especially if you have a hot stove. You can pick things up. If you have anything in the vicinity of the stove, like, okay, say you had this metal measuring cup on the stove for a while, would you want to pick it up? No, it's a lot more safer to pick it up with this because the heat from the stove would heat it up. But I always like to have these. And
okay, what kind of pans do you like to use?
I have all-clad. I love the all-clad because they're just great pans as far as transferring heat is concerned. And also, I get great caramelization with these pans. I get great fond. So if you're making a sauce and you have to saute something, you get like real good fond, beats love. And so all-clad's my favorite. I have some Cuisinart pans that I have, but there's nothing like the all-clad pans.
Okay, we're gonna pause for a moment. All right, continuing with our cooking with Gunny video. See our progress here. Rich claims he burned those, but they don't look burnt to me. They look nicely cooked.
I would have liked to cook them slower, but
you didn't know how hungry I was.
But they're a little caramelized, which is to me a good thing. I like the caramelization, but for presentation, I didn't think it would be that great.
Okay, so now what are you cooking, the sausage?
How many sausages do you want?
I don't know. Okay, so here we are starting the Italian sausage, cooking them in the cast iron skillet. Now what's the advantage of a cast iron skillet over a normal skillet?
Nothing really. But with the normal skillet, I think, the cast iron skillet's thicker and...
kind of retains heat better?
Yeah, but there's some spots. I think these are great for cooking, but I think with a cast iron skillet, I get some good caramelization going with the meat.
Okay.
So, but my grandma cooked them in a cast iron skillet, so there you go. You got some nice caramelization there.
Cool. And what is caramelization?
Okay, there's sugars in the meat. There's sugars in all meat, even in your mussels. So when the sugars are heated up, they caramelize like you would heat sugar up in a pan. So this is caramelization, and it's burnt sugar, which is very flavorful.
Okay.
Like caramel in your Coca-Cola.
Okay.
But it's just the caramelization gives it a nice, good flavor.
Okay.
So I'm big on caramelization.
All right.
Yep.
So, how would you say that as a gunnery sergeant about being big on caramelization?
I would say j'adore caramélisation.
How about, hey, Megan, you gotta get the...
Hey, you little scumbags, I want you to get that sausage and caramelize it. I will rip your head off and use it as a garbage can. Is that clear?
Yes, sir!
I can't hear you!
Yes, sir! So
Tranquilization, it could save your life in combat one day.
All right. All right, continuing with our video on cooking with Gunny, and I noticed, Gunny, that you have opened the red wine and the white wine you have not opened.
Yeah.
Now, why is the red wine open and the white wine is not open?
Well, I like to open whether red or white, but especially red. The red I like to open 20 minutes or more to aerate the wine, get some air in there, and the white wine seems to have more acid in there. I don't know if it's important to open the white wine. Say if this was a good white Bordeaux, I would certainly open it early and let it out, but this is a chilled Colombard, so I don't know if it's that important.
Okay, what is opening the wine and letting it air out do for the wine?
I think it just softens the flavor and the tannins and gets a lot going in the wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
that's wine expertise from the Gunny.
But I noticed when I would open a bottle of wine and drink it right away, the flavors weren't as soft and supple as if I let the wine air out a little
okay.
bit. So.
All right. Well, let's go back to our Italian sausage, which is nicely caramelized. Very important to have caramelized sausage. And notice his technique of standing it on its end to try and get all four sides cooked properly.
Exactly.
Because we want it cooked evenly. We don't want to have to throw it in the microwave like we normally do when the Lance Corporal cooks.
So this one on the end is a booger. This one on the end. This puppy just won't cooperate. Arrgh.
Oh, we're starting to get a little sizzle down there. See that? Nice little sizzle. And of course, you got to have the ambiance when you're out in the rural areas of Indiana.
Yeah.
Of the train going by. That, of course, is Gunny's cat. All right, let's take a break.
Well, usually, so I'm heating the puttanesca sauce up, and we got our pasta next door, so I'm just going to get this going, and I'm going to swirl the pasta around here and plate it. And we're going to put some sausage and green peppers on it.
Okay.
So, good hearty meal.
And our sausages are now what? 170.
170, which is, well, 169. So, I think 175 is a little overkill, but I always want to be safe. So I'm going to get the sausages out now because they're going to still continue to cook. And here's where these tongs come in. I can take this out and not burn my fingers. Very nice caramelized sausages. I don't know if this would be good in a fine dining kitchen, but for me, who's part Italian, I like them caramelized and a little bit greasy.
Okay, our sauce is starting to boil.
Yep, so put one of these babies here. And let's see. I'm going to work on a presentation for this. Okay. Like that. Okay. There we go.
So you stir the pasta in a little at a time?
Yep, just put the amount you want, and I think this is good. I try not to overload the plate and, to get a nice presentation.
Now, if you were eating with a former officer, I could understand the nice presentation.
Well, I like to make a nice presentation whenever I could.
Even for the Lance Corporal, huh?
Even for Lance Corps, especially for Lance Corporal.
All right.
They're the backbone of the Marine Corps. So, there. And take that. And we'll take some of this and put it on top there. Okay, that's good. Okay, and this is for the Lance Corporal here. What do you want to say there?
Wherever.
Okay. Well, red or white?
You know, I'm going to go with your suggestion.
Okay, we'll try the red. We have a nice Spanish Grenache. There you go.
Okay, I'm not going to start eating till you're ready to get yours
Oh,
plated.
all right.
That would be rude. Notice the dexterity with which the Gunny pours his wine, but
Thank you. Proud of that.
he's plating up the second plate here, going for presentation.
There's like this stuff doesn't stick. I like to put my pasta to rest in the biggest bowl you can so it can spread out. If it's all smushed together, it's going to stick, but so far, look at this, it's behaving and not sticking, which is good for future use. I'm going to put it away. So I can get our puppies pretty hot. Ta-da! All right.
This has been another episode of Cooking with Gunny.
Thank you.
Hold up the wine and say ciao.
Ciao, baby. Okay.
All right.